Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's developer stream. Not with Tanxus, but with me, T33kanne, who's, I'm gonna be the one who's taking the turn because Tanxus is on vacation, and I'm joined by our lead game designer, Bam.
Hello, back again. And I mean, that Tank guy, he needs a vacation sometimes, right?
Yeah, and I know Max Chaos. I did something with my hair, so yeah, it's like Tanxus, but as a different person. No, but it's an honor for me. I did this only once when it was still Pengod here, so it's also for me an honor to be here with you. It's basically our first time that we're together.
I was gonna say this is our first time really interfacing with each other.
It's like the first. Oh yeah, true. Lady Obscura said I should have altered a little bit of my bass from the microphone because I cannot do the mellow voice of Tanxus. That's a one of a kind.
That's his thing. Yep.
So yeah, I'm really happy to be here, and I'm really too happy to have the opportunity to talk with you about things that are going on this week, that are coming next week. So my Halloween themed hoodie with the small tomato here. It looks like a pumpkin because it's orange, but but it's slowly but surely getting cold here where I am. How is the weather in Chicago, by the way?
It's actually nice today. I went out for a walk during my lunch. I wore a jacket thinking it was going to be kind of chilly. I was sweating by the time I got back home. We're close to 70s, I think.
How much is that in Celsius? 70 degrees Fahrenheit?
Correct. Yeah, I do not know off the top of my head the conversion to Celsius.
Yeah, okay. It's like 21 where I would be, but we are slowly but surely getting towards the 30 degrees Celsius.
That part of the year, that time of the year.
Yeah, it's like 55 Fahrenheit, so it's slowly but surely getting really cold. So I need to get the hoodies out, but it's fine. But good. Should we just jump in of what has been going on this week? I mean,
let's do it.
Released a couple of things.
Very exciting. The time of the year everyone looks forward to. Halloween Monster Mash mode. I hope you guys are getting out there and going in with your monster tanks in their awakened forms, trying out their abilities. Hit us up. Let us know what are your favorite tanks going out there? Which ones have you guys been mastering out on the battlefield?
Have you played the mode yet? And what tanks?
Yes.
What is your go-to tank?
The Revenant is always going to be one that I just need to close out my sessions with. That one is just genuinely always a fun time. You can be very sneaky, and I love catching players off guards. But I am jumping around a lot this week with the Death Chariot. I love using the homing skulls. Just to give some players some advice on using the Death Chariot. The first red skull that you get is literally a homing missile skull, and try to aim up into the sky when you fire it. Just let it go up high and then set your reticle on your target who you want to aim at. Let that skull just kind of dive bomb on top of them because you'll deal much more damage that way. The second missile set, of course, you get 5 green skulls that you can fire very much like ATGMs in Cold War mode. These are more just like guided missiles at that point. But you get a very quick rapid fire in succession of each of those. And then I'm also jumping in with the Asterion with the nice bulldozing effect when you ram into opponents. Like that one just would always put a smile on my face when you just see someone tumbling around. As a matter of fact, I had a hilarious interaction. I knocked another Revenant tank that thought he was being sneaky, and I thought I didn't catch that he was actually a player. Knocked him into a wall. He was actually sideways, and I just kind of kept him pinned up there while I just kind of shot at his belly until he was done for.
Yeah, so for me it was the Arachnid which gave me the most fun times on the Tuesday stream because you can catch so many players by surprise if you just jump on them, and you jump on a kaiju and just eat his whole HP pool. So yeah, I love the new tanks and I love the abilities. But
the fun thing to try with the Arachnid is just like jump and fire. Like give yourself some like cover and then just like jump, peek over and shoot and go back down.
I never thought about that. Actually, I never thought about that. But one thing with the Revenant, because I didn't have the chance to play the mode last year, so it was
Okay.
discovering the tanks for me the first time, and I know that Grim Graveyard is the first time in the map pool for the Halloween mode as a Prokhorovka map type for the
We
Halloween
did
mode.
we did have Grim Graveyard in the past, but not in the past year or
Ah,
two. So it is returning this year.
that's might be why I didn't see it last year.
Yeah.
But there is a part where there is the graveyard, and there are a lot of Revenant tanks that are
Yep.
not
Dummies.
actually, yeah, that are dummies. And the first time I played it, I was just standing in there. It's just surrounded by 6 enemy tanks, and I was just standing there like, oh, what am I supposed to do? But
Hiding in plain sight.
it's a fun tank. Yeah, I love the mode as well. Like all the abilities played so much. Like the Bellerophon is, in my opinion, one of the most fun tank when it comes to playing in platoons. Just
Coordination and communication
yes.
between your friends, absolutely.
Just
Push,
throwing,
pull, and then stop
yeah,
them.
throwing enemy tanks around and just enjoying them, seeing them fly. I had one game where we were playing in Dead City, and the enemy tank was on the fountain, and I just pulled him, and he got yeeted into the air and just landed on the top and just self-destruct.
Bye-bye.
And I was like, well, this was not supposed to happen, but very good. So Halloween mode, Monster Mash. What else do we have? I think you have something behind you.
Did you like my nice wings I'm growing
Yes.
here? Yes, we also have the release of our new 3D commander, Hilda, the Valkyrie commander. I'll kind of duck to the side a little bit to give you guys a better look.
Yeah, I can.
I really love the render work and the lighting that the artist did.
I'm showing quickly the picture in the full size. It's unfortunately it's cropped on the side, but this is the original picture of it. So yeah, it's a really nice artwork.
It's very cool. So get your Hilda 3D commander this week, guys. Then we also have the earn your boosters, where if you earn 10,000 or more XP in any number of battles, you can earn silver and tank XP boosters. And then still on the topic of Halloween, we actually added, as of this past Tuesday, up until November 1st, the Grim Graveyard map in the Halloween mode is going to be in random battle rotation. That is in place of Prokhorovka for the time being. Yeah. So let us know if you guys like that, because honestly, in internal test, it played very different having all those Revenant husks scattered around the map. I feel like it really downplays the light tanks meta in that map and really boosts both for mediums and heavies, because now they got a little bit more like cover to move much further up into the map than they could before.
I'm taking something ahead now because we're talking about this map right now. There was one question related the Grim Graveyard and
Sure.
Prokhorovka, because people were saying if it's possible to keep the buildings and houses on Prokhorovka permanently and not only on the on the Halloween map. Like, I'm not talking about the Halloween stuff like pumpkins but just the houses and buildings.
I mean, why not keep the Halloween stuff year round? Don't we want the tentacles and the green goop ponds? We can certainly look into the buildings and such, because they do make interesting gameplay differences from the classic version of the map. We can look into that for you guys.
Great, that's nice. Yeah. On top of that, we have a lot of tanks for free XP available right now, outside of the Halloween things. Yeah,
so in the US line, I probably won't list the full roster here. We'll kind of give you guys a few examples. So, like in the US line, the T42 captured King Tiger. In the Germans, with the Iron Rain, Scorpion G. The Tog 2, the UK line. The General T27 in the Czechoslovakian line. The Turtle of the Mercenary. And, of course, some tanks in Cold War mode, such as the FV-4211 and the T-72M1.
Oh yeah,
plus some others.
The FV-4211 is considered to be a very strong tank, but also the Iron Rain is a very good tank from the Germans. Yes. It's a good TD.
And then we also have our premium bonus where you can earn 50% extra silver and XP on select tier 5 and era 2 and above tanks on the following lines. That is for the German Moss, the STB-1, and the Type 92.
Now, quickly talking about something else, we have something since it's the week of Halloween going on until the end of October. What can we? I know that KB is already sharing the link for today's giveaway, but what is in today's giveaways, Bam?
Let's start off with Hilder, the 3D Commander Valkyrie.
Okay.
The very first giveaway.
So everyone, I see KB just shared the link. Just make sure to, provide your right name, and we will then pull the giveaway in a couple of minutes, so people had enough time to, enter the giveaway.
We'd like to say we want to let that cook in the oven for a little bit and then download our winner.
Exactly. I'm gonna do that then in a bit.
All right, awesome. And I guess lastly, for what we also came out this week, I'm sorry, the contract for the Big Top. So if you were looking forward to that one and you missed out on it last time, Big Top is back. Get those contracts going.
All right. That is this for this week. Now, I see we have a lot of things to show for next week. But I also saw a couple of questions regarding one specific topic, and I think we might want to talk about that first. The removal of some of the tanks from the premium tech tree. I know this has been announced. We mentioned it last Friday stream. But Bam, can you give us a little bit of why we are doing this?
Yeah, let me. Okay, give me a few minutes here because this will be kind of a big breakdown here. Yeah, but yes, starting on November 1st, we will be making select vehicles unavailable for regular purchase in the premium tech tree. Like we have mentioned that before. Don't worry, because we will be offering these vehicles for sale in the week leading up to their removals. So originally, we used to have two types of premium vehicles that we would sell. That is the ones that would exist in the tech tree premiums, and of course, ones that would only be available in the store. And those were considered the store-only premiums. The tech tree premiums, these were tanks part of the tech tree, and each nation were always available for purchase, and only a handful available per each nation. The store-only ones, of course, only available through the store and via bundles. So a few years ago, when we added a new feature to have the actual premium tech tree, it was designed to display all the premiums that are in the game and provide you, the players, a place in game to look up the armor profile, the modules, the stats, etc. All the information you guys need to know regarding the premium vehicles, whether you owned them or not. Just if you had some curiosity of maybe one you came across in the battle, you can find that information in that premium tech tree. It was intended to provide players with information in game, so you guys didn't have to, step away from the console game and go on to like the Tinkopedia on the website. So as part of the new premium tech tree, the premiums were moved out of their nation's specific tech tree and moved into the premium tech tree, where they remained available for purchase. This move, unfortunately, caused a feature that was designed to provide players with just more in-game information to quickly turn into its own store, essentially. So when we have a whole tab, dedicated for selling and giving you guys a one place to go for all your shopping needs, we kind of divided it. Now we have kind of two stores. As time went on, more and more tanks were added to be permanently available in the premium tech tree, with a whopping 285 premium tanks available for purchase, which is quite a bit more than the handful of tech tree premiums that were originally started with, and it's kind of got a little bit out of control at this point. Okay, so with all this in mind, we will be reducing the number of vehicles available for purchase to roughly 100 premium tanks. This brings it down to a much more manageable number while keeping a variety of the vehicles available for purchase at any given time. So, okay, if you guys are asking, like, okay, why are we doing this now? We are going through a very in-depth analysis of the game, reviewing a lot of your player feedback, and looking into restoring some certain aspects of the game that has been essentially lost over the years. This change will allow for better purchase protection for the players and much more meaningful sales events as we move forward. As an example, buying a tank from the premium tech tree And then like a week or so down the line, we have a bundle up and it's 50% off and you feel like you missed out on that. We want to help protect you guys from situations like this and other different events that cause price differences for the same item just within a short time period. So, like I said earlier, we will be doing this in stages by removing a few tiers at a time. With advance notice, you guys will be made aware and alert. This allows players to make any final purchases they wish before they are removed from sale. Each wave of removals will be spaced a month apart. And then the premium tech tree will still function as normal. You can still go to that tab. You can still view the whole list of tanks available in there, just with fewer tanks available for purchase at any given time. And of course, we will still use it for trade-in events or special sale events, but now you have at least a better price protection for your purchases.
So it doesn't mean that we're removing this forever. Certain tanks that disappear, they will still be available in the game. You will not be. Of course. The only thing is you will not be able to purchase them through the premium tech tree if they are not available. But it also opens us the ability to rotate certain tanks. So. Yeah, it's just for us to make these purchases more meaningful in a sense of you don't get it through the premium tech tree and like a week or two later it's a personal offer with 50% discount and you are annoyed that you got it 2 weeks earlier and now you would have saved half the price.
So, absolutely.
And again, we are going to give you a lot of time in advance for you to know which tanks are going to be removed.
Yep.
So yeah.
Yeah. On another subject, how is our giveaway looking?
Let's talk about the next, and in the meantime, I'm gonna get the first batch of winners.
Oh, sure. Okay. All right, guys. So let's start going over some of our next week details. Czechoslovakian Independence Day. You can get a plus 200% XP for the first win of each vehicle. And to be clear, this is for all vehicles, not specific for the Czech line vehicles. And we will also be having Czech tank bundles available that will include the Skoda T56, the Tiger A18, and the Lioness.
Good tanks. I like the Lioness.
And then I'm not sure if you're ready to go over the assets for this next point here. Do we want to move on to the next one?
I have the first winners. So the person who won the Hilder Commander is Deputy Dog 777-X.
Deputy Dog. Congratulations.
So congratulations to the winner. We're going to make sure, please keep in mind, you will receive the prizes most likely beginning of next week because our person who is usually doing this is not available right now. He's on vacation.
But it will be coming.
Yes, you will receive them. Otherwise, shoot me a message and tell me, like, where is my prize? And I see the person in chat. I'm always happy when the winners are in chat. That is.
Oh, there is Deputy Dog.
Yes, I'm always happy. All right, so the next part is gonna be a little bit more, includes a few more things. So, Bam, are
we ready to roll?
Yes. So.
All right, we got ourselves a new set of 2D Halloween commanders. A lot of these are even the first time I'm seeing some of the these hilarious and let's also just say wicked 2D commanders. These will be available among 5 separate bundles, 1 mega bundle that includes them all, or 4 individual bundles with 4 commanders included in each. And do you want me to just kind of go down the list here? And you got all the imagery ready to showcase?
Yes, I do. But for the first 2, we need to have a little bit of pause because we have the first commander, which is either this variation, a black cat called Ash, or a red cat called Ember. And those 2 have their own voiceover. And I've been asked to play a couple of their own
Please do.
own sounds. So we have the angry cat noises trying to. So you will hear those in battle, or you have some hissing. We have some growling.
They're all so angry.
Yeah, why so angry? And of course, we have the classic meows.
Oh, good. They do meow.
So I guess there are certain different things that trigger this. So, for example, when you reload, when you get hit, hissing, of course, and angry when you get hit by something very hard. And yeah, those two cats, the black version and the red version, both have their individual voiceover. So yeah, and I guess
Awesome.
Bam, from now on, you can take it from here.
Okay. Please tell me we don't have any sort of VOs for this next one. The Little Miss Murderous Creepy Doll.
Yeah,
like this is nightmare fuel.
It is, but there are some more that are. When I set up everything, I was like, oh my god. But again, luckily it's only a 2D commander, right? Like if you would have a 3D commander of that in the garage holding like little doll.
I bet our 3D artists are thinking about it. They might be concepting it out.
Yeah.
For next year. So yeah, up next we have the Wendigo.
Yeah.
This one's pretty cool.
I like it. I like the green. The greenish tone.
Very ghoulish. And then we have the Wrath Demon.
The male demon. And of course, one thing to notice is that all of those have their own nationality attached to it. So you will see this once they are available.
Yes, and the demons are part of the Italian nation commanders. And then next we have the female demon. Here we go. Lust. Yeah. Also Italy.
Yeah.
Now, how about the evil twin boy, the Hadley boy of the UK nation?
Together with the
twin girl, the Hadley girl.
Yeah. Those two really bring. I don't like those two.
Up next, we have Victor, the mad scientist of the Czech line, of the Czech commanders. I'm sorry. And what is the mad scientist without his trusty assistant Igor?
Czech, of course, as well. Why are the Czech people always the mad scientists?
How about Vengeful Vivian? This gives me some nightmares from a very popular film.
Oh yeah, especially the sound. Imagine.
And that's a French commander. And then we have the Sasquatch, Harold the Sasquatch of the U.S. commanders.
Of course, it's American because it's very known there, right? The Sasquatch.
Known or thought to be out there somewhere. Then we have our Goth Witch. Is it Circe?
Probably. I'm not sure how to pronounce that. Yeah, most likely.
Another Italian commander. Up next, we have Morrigan, the Red Flame Witch.
I love that artwork. Honestly, I absolutely love it.
All right, we're almost at the bottom here. Then we got Hecate's, Purple Flame Witch.
Yeah.
Hecate, maybe.
Or Hecate.
Hecate. For the Italian commanders. And then lastly, the Baron Voodoo Priest. American commander.
Of course.
Us and our voodoo magic, right?
I love the paint job in his his face and how it's tattooed. But yeah, I really like a lot of the artworks of those 2D commanders. I think they are great, and I'm really excited to check out the cat voiceover next Tuesday.
So funny. All right. Did we want to do another giveaway?
Yes. Let's see.
Give the players more.
I'm just gonna run it again. So what of the things that we have do you want to give away now?
Let's see, you said you were really enjoying the Arachnid, right?
Yes, I love the Arachnid.
Let's give it away an Arachnid tank to one lucky winner.
All right. The Arachnid goes to total of 5. So congratulations to that person.
We got that winner really quick. Congratulations.
I'm just gonna write it down so I am not forgetting that. All right.
All right. So, quick reminder, if you guys are interested in enjoyed hearing about all the Halloween mode and these awesome commanders, just a reminder, these monster tanks, the Grim Reaper and the Hildur Valkyrie 3D commanders, these are available in bundles up until October 31st.
After that,
so get them while they last.
They will disappear for probably another year.
Another year, probably. And then we also have new tanks Reforged and on-track lines coming for Chinese light tanks, including the Tier 10 WZ-132-1, which received an improvement in speed, gun handling, view range, and all-around improved gun buffs. That's great to hear. In Tier 9, the WZ-132A also improved gun handling, turret rotation speed, and reduced penetration loss over distance, specific to the AP shells. Tier 8, we have the WZ-132 with reduced penetration loss over distance, again for AP shells only. And then between Tier 10 and 6, gun depression for this line was also increased from 5 degrees to 6 degrees. So a slight improvement there. And lastly, the German Tier 9 T55A premium tank receives an improved penetration and reload to give it an edge over its competitors. Do note that this tank is one of those that will be made unavailable for purchase in the premium tech tree and is on sale right now.
I just want to quickly, I'm not going to name the one person, but if you try to enter the giveaway with several different email addresses, but the same username, we will notice that. Don't do that. Don't really.
Uh-oh.
Just don't. All right.
That'll lessen your chances for winning.
It will probably negate the chance of you for winning, but I see everything when you enter it, so just.
You are the all-seeing overseer.
I mean, if one name pops up 8 times, I'm curious.
Something suspicious is going on there,
yeah,
right?
just don't. All right. Yeah, I think we went through the important
I think we're
things.
ready for shoutouts.
Oh, yeah. I think we changed something for this week's shoutout because we have quite a lot. Right?
There is a lot of names here. A lot of people are going to be receiving some fun new key cards.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. We said the winners this time get a monster key card because we have quite a lot of winners, and we want to have it in the Halloween-esque theme.
'Tis the season. And in all of these, for all of these winners, these are all people who've been playing through the new monster tank. So it's just kind of, it's appropriate. And, just for some context, in the monster key cards, you guys can unlock some new emblems. The 2D commanders are also included in these. And I believe even a chance to get some select monster tanks in this as well. So some awesome rewards there. So let's get started. In the Death Chariot. Oh, let me specify. This is actually categorized a little bit.
Yeah.
Specifically in PvP mode, random battle. In the Death Chariot with maximum damage dealt in a single battle by Silver Fire 519 with damage of 6,455. Congratulations to you, sir.
That's
and up next, yeah. In the Asterion, maximum damage dealt in a single battle by Oberst Kessler 87 with 6,899 damage. And then lastly, in the PvP category, the Arachnid with max damage dealt in a single battle Koza GG31, 7,608. So the Arachnid doing a lot more. I believe that, yeah, that one's a tier 9. So
Yeah, it's
that,
a tier
that
9
adds up.
autoloader. The gun is very strong of the Arachnid, so it makes sense that it does more damage than the other twos. But yeah, well done. And
Well done.
I mean, that is in PvP, and now we get to the awakened variants that,
To Awakened mode,
yeah,
Monster Mash.
yeah,
So let's go in the same order. The Death Chariot, again, max damage caused in a single battle. Invader GT with 14,775 damage. Wow. It's got to be those skull missiles, right?
But that's not even the tank that dealt the most damage in the awakened mode, and that, like, this is insane. So, but yeah,
In the Asterion, with max damage dealt in a single battle, Brain Dead Human with 9,718 damage. And then lastly, again, with the Arachnid, max damage in a single battle, Senior Fluff. We've seen this guy and gave him a shout out before. He comes up quite often, I believe. 11,096 damage. Well done.
I dealt, I think, 9,000 damage in the Arachnid, and I thought, like, that was a lot. But then this guy comes in and deals 11,000 damage, so he must have jumped on a lot of kaijus.
Yeah, right. But that is not all. We still have more shoutouts to go through. So let's actually discuss the still in the Monster Mash mode.
Yeah.
The remaining Awakened tanks. Who's gotten the best max damage dealt in each of the other Awakened tanks? Starting it off with the Lycan, max damage dealt by Hater Gone Bad, 12,264 damage. Well played. In the Bog Horror, max damage by Wrathchild, 4989. With 9,328 damage. In the Fangula, max damage by Prague 4 M3R2 with 9,941 damage. And I think this next user here, I'm reading ahead, I think this person has the most combined damage of all monster tanks, done in the Revenant tank.
Of course.
In a single battle, Tank Senpai 5266 with 14,798 damage. Just beating out the Death Chariot that we mentioned previously. Well played. That user must have just kept themselves very well hidden, probably like in the middle of the battlefield, and getting all the shots that they needed. Okay, oh God, we're not even halfway through here, guys. I'll start dribbling through a little quicker here. In the Hullenhund, max damage dealt by Black Sniper Fire, 10,160 damage. Up next, in the Wraith, max damage by Coyote 969 with 8,593 damage. In the Dread Dozer, max damage by A7X Enforcer, 10,184 damage. In the Creature, max damage by Regency Rogue with 10,819 damage. In the Spectre, this is the free tank that comes out every year for Halloween Monster Mash. Max damage by Tank Killer 125 with 10,171 damage. In the Gorinich, max damage dealt by Butter Your Muffin, 8,436 damage. In the Dragon, by Squeeze Me with 10,247 damage. Kaiju by Mad Max 21515. 8,550 damage. In the Chimera, max damage by Dread Eagle 11500 with 12,227 damage. And lastly, in the Bellerophon, max damage in a single battle by Yamato 1845 with 9,921 damage. Holy cow, you guys. Enjoy your monster key cards. Well played and congratulations. That is amazing. And then three more shout outs. As always, our milestone users who crested amazing counts of battles. Starting it off with, we got a few winners here. Drawn98, The Illicit Fool, and Maximus 1 Leo. You all have crested your 100,000th battle this week. Pickpocket has hit their 110,000th battle. And lastly, amazingly, Ponajiro 555 reached 180,000 battles this week. So big congratulations to you guys. You will also be receiving monster key cards. Whew, I need a sip of water after that one.
Please do. And in the meantime, we have some more news that I wanted to share with you. Bam joined lately one of our CC's podcast episode that is around a little bit longer than 2 hours, actually, where he's answering a lot of questions and go a little bit more into detail. We're going to share the link right now in chat where you can check it out if you're interested. So yeah, please. It's a good episode, and yeah, you have Bam talking a little bit more about how he got into the position of a lead game designer. So yeah. And I think I take the next one as well, because this is an information, a short update on the competitive scene. So our competitive team that we have been working with are creating some tournaments, and one of them is starting tomorrow. The registration ends today. It's the Order 66 tournaments, where there will be a lot of prizes included, like keycards, premium time, some wargaming approved emblems, and premium tanks. So if you're interested to take part or even just watch, make sure to check out their Discord and get news on the schedule. So yeah, that is the part from me. And yeah, I think we are a little bit over the halftime. What else do we have?
We're doing pretty good on time in here.
Yeah. What else do we have? Anything else to give away, Bam? I
do believe we have some more monster tanks.
Oh, do we?
Let's go with the Asterion this time.
The Asterion. So the
bulldozing tank.
Let me pull the winners. And the person who gets the Asterion is StodyMan24. Congratulations, good sir.
You must have a faster bandwidth internet. You're downloading these winners much quicker than Tanksaurus has been doing so in the past.
Yeah, the thing is, I always have like the Excel sheet already open, so I just have to import the new Excel file while I'm doing this, and while I'm already, asking you, hey, what do we have? Anything else?
Awesome.
All right. Now we come to a few questions. That is one question that we received from our CCs, and I think a couple of other players were asking this, but I kind of have the answer already available. But why is the Grim Graveyard now available in custom games, but not Dead City?
Yes. So we looked at Dead City. We also wanted that one we tested it out to try to make it also available not only in custom games, but also to replace Himmelsdorf in random battle rotation. Because our Halloween maps are very visual effects heavy, there's a lot of lighting changes going on, especially Dead City. If you go around like every corner, we have so many of those pumpkins. There's specific lighting nodes everywhere throughout. It is a performance expense to have all this going on. And we ran it through some performance testing and found that there was kind of some dips in frame rates and hitches, especially on like some of the older consoles. So ultimately, Dead City was not performing well. We had to make the call that this has to be specifically isolated to the Halloween Monster Mash mode. But Grim Graveyard, thankfully, was not as quite heavy on the VFX, so that we were happy to put that into rotation as well as the custom games.
All right. Thank you. That
absolutely.
There was one dedicated question, and I know I'm jumping a little bit ahead, but I saw it a lot over the last days, not only from people here in chat. Medals for Cold War. What can you tell us anything about this? Like, is this possible? Is it something that we're looking into? Would we have to change and redesign old medals? Would we have to create new medals from scratch? these are the kind of questions that appear.
Let me knock those questions out really quick. Yes, yes, no, yes. To to sum that up, yes, we are looking into them. Yes, they will be coming out. Something that we're aiming for next year. Whether we have to redesign or rework the criteria of some older medals, that's debatable. Something we just need to figure out and discuss on our end. And then new ones as well. Like absolutely. Like you guys ask for it, we know it's not like in demand, and this is something you guys want to see. So we have a ticket on it. We are talking about it. It's just something that look forward to next year.
Nice. That's really good, because I received this question actually in the past couple of days quite a few times, and now randomly it pops up a lot in the chat as well, even though I know that the people that are asking me this have no relationship with each other. So it's quite interesting to see this spread and becoming some hot topics that just pop up randomly. Now, one question that is related to our Tankopedia page. Some people are wondering if it's maybe possible to get the hull armors added to this Tankopedia page from certain tanks. Would it make sense? Why not?
With the current layout, there just wouldn't be a good spot to put this. And not, I mean, quite honestly, these values don't tell you too much about the effectiveness of the armor. It is better to view the armor in game and using the armor viewer, so you can see the angles and all the values that make up your tank's armor. When these values used to be displayed in game, they were a bit misleading, as it could say something like 300 millimeters thick frontal armor, but in reality, this is just a thin strip that made up 1% of your frontal armor.
Okay, yeah. I know this when I started, that people showed me the website where you can there is like this free website where you can emulate shots on tanks with like specific angles.
I have seen that, yeah.
You have seen this? Like how difficult is it or how difficult would it be to implement a feature like this into the game? Like, I'm not a developer, I have no idea, because
right.
I probably think that this would take quite an undertaking, but what is necessary to bring something like this?
I also can't speak to the extent of the scope of achieving something like this. We would have to start with talking with our engineering team and get their heads wrapped around it and like everything understand of what we're actually asking for. I do think it would be a great quality of life improvement to the game itself, and being able to see things visualized like that way. But a lot of our tasks and what we try to design for, it really boils down to like a stack rank of our priorities. What are some of the bigger things that we need to tackle? Where is our bandwidth allowing us to start looking into other features like this that might be further down on the stack rank? So, I mean, that's kind of the short-winded answer I can give on that. Would I love to see it and have that sort of information provided in game? Absolutely. But when we have to consider a lot of other things are also coming down the line in the next year or so, we have to make sure that we stay on top of those features.
Yeah, I mean, sounds good. It's perfectly fine. I mean, again, I just don't have an idea to what the scope would be on all of this. And I just want to say, like, we get tons of questions, and we're trying to cover most of them, but I know that some of them will be probably missed. We have someone pulling questions from the chat and providing us some short answers on them. I think we might be able to write them down in our in our when we post stream notes. So if we have missed your question, make sure to check out the stream notes, because there might be an answer included.
I think sometimes we also take a look. We note down these questions and try to follow up on them in the next week's stream.
Yeah, I mean, one of the questions that I always get, since artillery was like, we had this RT 2.0 somewhat announced a couple of months ago, and we delayed it. Can you give us a short update on what's happening? Is it planned this year, next year?
Yes.
Yeah, like, what do we have in mind for RT 2.0?
I've been debating to myself when I thought it might be appropriate to debut some of the plans that we have in mind for RD 2.0.
Mm-hmm.
What I'll say at this time, because I think that might be better saved when we have something to showcase and show off to you, the players, of like, here's what's coming for you guys. What I will say definitively, yes, RD 2.0 changes are coming this year. Um, I think, like I said, I'll save and unveil what that content is for a later stream.
All right. That's good.
More to come.
It's good. Okay, let's go back to a couple of the easy questions that we can punch through. Are we going to have a tier 10 tech tree sale at some point?
Let's see. Well, we do have sales every week for different tank lines, which does include tier 10s of, that specific line. For having every tier 10 on sale, nothing coming soon for that.
All right. One person is asking Twitter user Boogeyman, can you make the T32M1 skin available for purchase?
Sure. Sounds like we've actually already asked the events team to go ahead and turn it on for a near future deployment.
All right. Our senior community ambassador, DGen, actually asked two questions. One is Halloween related, because I know that you love the Revenant. Do you think the Revenant should activate the sixth sense of someone else who is driving next to them, because it gives away his position when he plays dead?
That's a tricky situation. To be honest, it's always worked that way in previous years, and it has come up internally. Like, do we like this? This would work as a buff for the Revenant.
Oh yeah.
And we already talked about in some of those shoutouts that someone got that large max damage of almost like 15k in the Revenant.
Yeah.
I will say yes. Like, the sixth sense is intended. There has to be some sense of, no pun intended, of balance to these tanks. I know, like, you as a Revenant tank, you might think you're hidden, and you kind of detect that someone might understand where you're located at because their sixth sense is going off. And that just means, you got to make a decision now. Like, do you move, or do you just kind of stick still and hope they just ignore you and continue on, maybe?
I see Mr. SPG saying, I voted that sixth sense be off for the Revenant. I have to say, when I played it, and I that would be very strong. But all right. The second question from DGen was about something else. It is in regards to some kind of reward program. So the World of Tanks PC has a well-deserved reward every Christmas, where they provide gifts to the player based on the years that they played the game. Can console adopt this somehow?
So we actually do have our anniversary emblems that reward you, and you can apply them to every single tank of yours. But I will quick note that we can probably look into an improvement and updating our anniversary reward, so it's maybe something more than just an emblem. Maybe it's a commander, maybe it's a tank. So we do have an active ticket to look into that. So yes, we'll adopt something similar as to what WoT PC has considered.
All right. And I guess we can now move on to some of the questions that we had during the stream, because we got actually quite a few of them. Any plans to add the Skoda T56 to the premium tech tree?
No plans, as we covered earlier in regards to the premium tech tree and reducing the number of tanks available.
Do we have any plans for Japanese tank destroyer and adding new trophies and achievements?
No, not at this time.
I also want to add that it's not that easy for a console game to add new trophies and achievements to the console, because every platform has their own regulations on that. Like, you would have to implement some kind of DLC for that.
It has been a while since we had a new achievement, now that I really think about it.
It's not that easy. Like, when I was at Legends at the time, it's really not that easy to just put in achievements. When and where can I buy the Fangula?
I mean, unfortunately, that was a licensed vehicle, and we currently don't have the licensing to put that back out for sale. So right now, it's not available for purchase. However, if you're looking for a tank like it, in terms of the awakened form, and you want that little pounce ability, we do have the Arachnid, which was meant to work as like the tank that you can buy, and it's not licensed.
Yeah. Do we have any plans to reintroduce the From the Vault sale again? Like where we have made some older removed tanks like T2, T3 tanks available?
I mean, absolutely. We do these for special sales events, and hey, I'm very certain something will be coming around soon in the near future.
All right. Cold War wheeled vehicles, something that I've been seeing quite a couple of times. When do we have plans?
Not yet. There is still some trouble and bugs we're trying to iron out. A lot of it comes down to a tool that our engineers are building to allow us better implementation of the wheeled vehicles into the game. So until we have a good functioning working tool to work off of, we really can't commit to like hard dates of like, this is when a wheeled vehicle for the Cold War line can come out. Just we got to make sure we have the tools in front of us before that.
All right. So basically just make sure that the mechanic will be improved before we bring up more, because I think the French wheeled vehicles were like the trial run.
It was I'll be honest, a close, what's the phrase? A close race to the finish line, I suppose.
Okay.
We barely got those out. There were a lot of bugs that we addressed like almost to the hour before launching them into the live environment. And those were like actually copying the tanks from the PC side of things. For Cold War, we'd have to make these from scratch. And that's just something, I mean, we can do, but the amount of Cold War wheeled vehicles that we'd like to put out there is going to add up to a lot more time to actually like spend working on that individually. Mm-hmm. And our tank designers and our artists, like that means that is that much less content of other tanks, etc., that we will not have time to even work on, or other features in the game. Mm-hmm. So again, this boils down to having that functioning tool for us that will help, optimize the process and get that stuff out to you guys.
Yeah, that makes sense. Like honestly, it's better. Do we have any more plans on bringing like the remainder of mercenary tanks that we haven't re-released yet in the future?
I mean, yes, we have always been rotating the contracts in when there's some room. We can only have so many contracts up at any given time. I mean, but we haven't forgotten. Every week we always announce the new one that's available.
Mm-hmm. Do we have plans to bring in any of the XM1 like Abrams prototypes to the game?
Not currently for any Abram variants, not currently on the schedule, but we are looking to add more unique tanks that aren't available in another form.
One question regarding the Halloween commanders that we just showed previously. When do we release them?
Next week, the 25th.
Next Tuesday, yes. There's one very specific question on one of the Chinese... it's not the Chinese lights. It's the German T55A. What will be the pen buff?
Oh, it's going to go from a 221 pen to up to a 238.
Okay, thank you. Do we have any trade-in events planned?
No trading events coming up at the moment. Okay. But as always, you guys will hear it from us when we say, so inbound trade event.
Okay. Some question that I saw quite a lot. I think it was the same person asking it. What about 4-man platoons?
No plans due to issues they cause with matchmaking. But, I am having some internal conversations in regards to our platoon handling in the game and what we can think about trying stuff in the future. I'm not committing or promising anything right now, but I'm just letting you guys know we're talking about player quantity in platoons in different ways.
Okay.
I'll leave it at that.
When are we going to release the next researchable grindable line, or is this gonna come over Christmas?
No, sometime next year for the next new line.
Any hint? Can you spill the beans? Okay, I'm just joking. I'm just, man, gotta try. What's the next mercenary tank after the?
Next one coming up is the Stinger.
So we have the um, big top
Big
coming.
top right now.
The big top right now, and the Stinger is the one that comes next. All right. And yeah, so that is something that I received a lot from our competitive people, especially the streamers. Are we having any plans to the spectator HUD?
Yes, I mean, every milestone, at least to my knowledge, we've always been addressing minor bugs to more like quality of life improvements for the spectator HUD. And we are still continuing to make progress on that front as we go along.
All right.
Yeah.
And there was one more question, but I think Mr. SBG already answered that in the chat, or he tried to address it. Has the artillery been limited to one per team since the start of the season? No, it's only one per platoon. That is the rule. It is still 3 per team.
Correct.
But I think Mr. SBG already answered it to the people that were asking it. Okay, I just received one more. The handling of the EBR is not the best. Is there any way that we can improve it?
We did do a lot of tuning with the wheeled tanks in regards to how they feel and drive when initially added. I don't know if you were there when we got those wheeled vehicles in for the first time. They were squirrely and spinning in circles all over the place. Last we heard though, players were happy with how they turned out in terms of a lot of the tuning controls that we put in weeks to follow their release. I would like to know if there is something more specific that you are finding an issue with. Because this is kind of news to me, unless there is something else going on here.
Okay, so again, and if you guys have anything where you think this is weird or it shouldn't be like this, if you can just provide me or KB with video footage, we can forward it to our QA team and they can take a look at it. So if you think there is something that shouldn't be like it is, just make sure to provide us video so we can investigate. And yeah, so the next map is gonna be Karelia. After that, we're gonna have Swamp. It was already announced. Yep. Do you have any information on the map that comes after that?
I can. So I had the pleasure of doing the podcast with Ricky Tikitave. If you guys haven't checked it out already, a lot of fun information. And I do give a leak to a map in that very podcast. Now that it has come out, I wanted his podcast to have the opportunity to debut that news first. But I'll say it here on stream now that the podcast has come out. A very much fan favorite map. Airfield will be coming soon, early next year.
Can you tell us if it's going to replace Sunset Coast?
It will not. I hear the comments from the players. If you guys don't mind, I can give you a little bit of history and context as how we got to a jungle-fied version of Airfield and why Sunset Coast was the map in rotation for years, and now we're finally coming back to Airfield. Reason being, I was a level designer several years ago and was tasked with, a lot of players were asking for a new jungle map. And at the time, actually, we were working on the Cold War mode, and Kalbong was something we had kind of working in the background, but we were still a few years off before we would be releasing the Cold War mode and maps. So we took a look at some player favorite maps and thought, Airfield would be a great one to turn into a jungle and re-release it as Sunset Coast. To each their own. I hear the opinions. I hear the comments. I know people's thoughts on Sunset Coast, love it or hate it. But I'm happy to say now that Airfield will be coming back, and we can always revisit Sunset Coast's availability and rotation in the future as well.
Question. I
Yes.
know the answer, but I'm just, throwing it out. There are certain, I don't know if you've ever played Battlefield, the old ones, where you can, prioritize certain maps that you want to play. But
Mm.
since Airfield and Sunset Coast are identical, nearly identical regarding a certain, other features, it would be nice to, be able to choose if you either want to see this or that. For this specific map, but just saying, just saying.
Well, this has come up a few times, and I've definitely thought about this idea of like ways to, other games will talk about like in post results, like vote for the next map in selection or something, or uh, I'm sorry, brain farting here.
All
But
good.
yes, some way to filter maps in certain ways. Truth of the matter is, with a lot of the matchmaker changes and improvements for a lot of the balancing, I really can't say anything like this will be coming for World of Tanks. Um, but as always, we try to look at maps and understand, are these well balanced? What are players thinking about certain maps? If this is a situation where someone wants maybe a map less in rotation, we can always work that into the system a little bit more. Or, we're always not opposed of pulling a map out of rotation and maybe bringing it back at a later time, revised or something. That's also an option.
Yeah, I mean, again, there are always people who like specific maps there more than others, and there are surely a lot of people that say that they don't like Sunset Coast. But we are trying to make everyone happy, and as long as there is something for everyone in the game, I don't think it's quite the smart choice to remove it because a certain amount of players doesn't like it, but others do. So again, there are always things that you will like and you don't like, but we try to make everyone happy. And
Yeah, it's a tough one.
yeah, it is. It always is. It's the same with artillery. It's exactly the same with that. But that's a topic for another day. I think we went through all the questions that were provided to us. And to bring this stream to an end, we have one more thing to give away.
Yes, we do. Our final new monster tank, the Death Chariot. And I think we should bundle this one also with the Grim Reaper Commander. What do you think?
All right, because I already pulled the winner and you one lucky guy.
Oh,
So the person who wins the Death Chariot together with the Grim Reaper is Zips McGuire. Congratulations.
congratulations.
Um, that was I didn't think I didn't think about that. So yeah, um, that's really thank you, Bam, for being here today with me. I also see that Zips McGuire is in the chat. That always makes me happy.
Hey, shout
And
out.
yeah, and we got through all the questions. Next week, Tanxus will be back. I will make sure to write down the questions that we have seen in the end, like are we going to plan anything on the siege modes for the tanks? But that's for next week. And yeah, again, thank you, Bam, for being here and for letting me host.
Absolutely. It's been a pleasure, like I said, interfacing with you and, being on stream together.
Same. Like again, first time. I'm just trying to find someone on Twitch that we can send our nice viewers to. But in the meantime, I guess we can end the stream here. And yeah, see you next Tuesday. And for Bam, see you next Friday.
Yep. See you all on the battlefield.
Bye bye.
Thanks, everyone.